Okay, so we should be live. Let's see if this works first time. So guys, if anybody can hear me or see the chat, do leave a message. Here we are. So I see Patrick, one of my channel mods. So guys, many thanks for joining the live stream. This is episode 4 of the Tech Doctor UK extra stream, where we talk about our streaming questions, our tech questions. I get a chance to interact with you, and hopefully together we can have a nice time. And of course, guys, if any of you know answers to these questions, please do jump in, or feel free to jump in. Now, as per normal, we'll do a quick intros, say some hellos, then I've got a couple of updates about my channel, and then we'll jump straight into the questions. Okay, so in fact, why don't you just leave a quick comment and tell me where you guys are watching from, and also what's the time in your area. So let's go from the top. So, hey Paul, nice to see you here. Hi Pete. Okay, so I can see the chat coming through now. What do you think of this new chat box that I've got on the screen? So, hey Daniel. Okay, so we're in the same time zone. Welcome Dan. Hey Patrick from Tampa. We have Alex. Yes, I will get to the questions in just a second, but let me just do the quick hellos first. And then I do want to share a couple of updates to what's happened to my channel. Then we'll jump onto these questions. Hey Vincent, nice to see you here. Hey Rich. We have John. Wayne in Canada. What's up, I'm a fan? We have Jerry in West Virginia. We have my old friend Vandross from Trinidad. And guys, like, I know I do say this a lot, but honestly, it really is nice to see all of these familiar names in the chat. I definitely do recognize them. You guys are always leaving comments on my videos, and I do appreciate it. Okay, so we have Billy Badger coming from Wild North Wales. Really nice place. We have Brian, Bishment, Murray, and sorry if I've slightly butchered your names, NC Clifton. Alright, so I think the chat is all looking good. You guys are coming through fine. I can see the messages. I think we have about 40 people on at the moment. I know it's a bit short notice, guys, but just trying to find time, or a suitable time where I can jump on, is never easy, which is why I always say that if you can subscribe with all notifications, you'll know exactly when I go live. So hey Reds, hey Carl, hey Milos, hey 11. Okay, so many thanks once again, guys, for joining the chat. Couple of quick updates from me before we jump onto the questions. So the first one is a bit unfortunate, where this morning I received a message telling me that my video that I published, I think 2 days ago now, on how to run Android applications on Windows using an Android emulator, that video got striked. So they've removed that video and given me a strike on my channel. And I mean, and the reason they cite is harmful and dangerous. So I don't know what they saw in that video, what it is, but for whatever reason, they've now taken off that video, and I've appealed it already, and unfortunately the appeal has been denied. And this is probably the most common issue that, you know, your other YouTubers that you watch, your streaming YouTubers, are having all the time, where literally nothing is safe now. Even the most legitimate video on the most legitimate application, you know, I mean, Upgrade guys, somebody, one of the guys I regularly talk to, I think he's had 5 strikes in the last 2 weeks, and he's doing the most, you know, the most standard official applications like your Fubos, like your Plutos. I think he even got one for YouTube TV. So the fact that somebody can get a strike for, covering YouTube on YouTube is just ridiculous. But it just shows you what's happening with the platform at the moment, and it really makes you question that how long can you survive, because the way the policies are changing and the way that you're constantly talking to more or less automation bots, where anytime they feel like this video doesn't comply, I'm going to take it down. And even when you appeal, even though they say it's a manual appeal, in pretty much every case that I've seen, it's always just bots. It's just automatic, and you get instant deny. Then you have to go through the entire process of escalating it through either Twitter or going through the email support. But during that time, your video is pretty much finished. So even if they do restore the video, and in most cases they do, because they found they've made a mistake, once that video comes back, because it's been off YouTube for a couple of days, it's completely finished or destroyed in the algorithm. So it's just pointless. So that's the strike I got this morning. So I'm currently appealing it. But again, it just and I'm sure you've seen with your other YouTubers, like I know Free Tech had one recently, and his one was just how to change a launcher. So he was just demonstrating how you can install the Wolf launcher, use an application to launch that on boot, and for some reason YouTube determined that video is harmful and dangerous. And that's always the policy that seems to be triggered, the harmful and dangerous, because that contains one of the sections in that policy says showing how to bypass payment for digital content and services. So I mean, it's so frustrating, and I really wish that somebody actually looks at that policy, because so many videos that shouldn't be flagged are being flagged with this policy, but no one listens to us. But anyway, so that's the update on that. I don't want to spend too much time going on about that, but just so you guys are aware, this is what's happening to all of your current or your favorite streaming YouTubers. All right, let me just do a couple of quick hellos, and then I'll jump straight into the questions. So hey Andrea, thank you Robert, thank you for reminding that please do hit the like button and share this stream if you can. We have Larry, Chad, Wayne. Yeah, so this was the actual video that I covered, that it was LD player, and I mean, maybe because in that video they saw I had some streaming applications on my home screen, or it could be anything, and the trouble is they never specifically say what it was. They just say this is now a violation of this policy, we're now taking the video down, you now have a strike on your channel. Okay, so a couple more hellos. Yeah, I mean, lots of us, when we're covering official live TV apps, we have this problem, and the biggest issue is it's just so hard to get through to a human. You're just constantly just talking to robots. Yeah, I mean, I've tried BlueStacks, I've also tried Nox, I've also tried LD Player, but I personally find that LD Player is the fastest, and that's the one I use all the time when I'm testing applications. Alright, so guys, I'm going to go through the questions now, but to make it easier for me, if you actually write the word question and then do a hyphen, that actually highlights it on my screen, so it's easier for me to find it going through the chat. But ask any question regarding your tech or your streaming questions, and I'll try my best to answer them. And of course, guys, if any of you guys know the answer, do feel free, or please feel free to jump in. Okay, so let's start from the top. I think the first question was from Gregory. I have a 4K Fire Stick Max. I want some tips on how to cut back buffering as much as possible. Okay, I mean, buffering is one of those ones where, I mean, there could be 1,000,001 different reasons. Probably the first thing I always recommend is find out what's the source of the buffering. Is it your actual application? Is it your certain device? And probably the easiest thing you can do is, if you find that, when you open up Netflix or you open up YouTube, you don't get any buffering on that normally means that your device is okay, your internet is okay, your bandwidth is okay. But if you are getting buffering in a certain application, then the issue is most likely in the application, whereby whatever servers that the application is using, they don't have the bandwidth to serve all of the users. And typically for your IPT, those kind of applications, that's where most people see buffering, because they're oversubscribed. There's too many people using them, and that's why you typically see buffering. So the quickest test to do is, can I just watch any YouTube video for for hours in HD or even in 2K or 4K? If that works okay without buffering, then your device and your internet is okay. The issue is probably with the application you're using. Okay, so going through the next question. Yeah, so this was the application I demonstrated in that video, was called LD Player. So it's a great Android emulator you can install on Windows. Okay, so how do I change directories on ES Explorer so that movies that I download will go to the external drive? Now, if you're using an application to download content, typically in most of those applications, they can only download to internal storage. So perhaps on your Fire TV Cube, if you formatted your entire USB drive as internal storage, then yes, anything that you download from any application will automatically go onto that USB drive. But if on your other device, if you've partitioned half as internal, half as external, then the stuff that you download through the applications, they will only go onto that internal storage. Yes, so I'm actually doing that at the moment. So I do have an Odyssey account where I am mirroring all of my videos, and I'm using that as a backup. So if anything does happen to my main channel, I do have a backup of my videos there. The issue really is transitioning all of your audience to a new platform. I think that's where it becomes a bit difficult, and for most people, nobody really wants to leave YouTube. Okay. All right, so yeah, I mean the policies are just crazy at the moment. All right, so going through your questions. Yeah, I mean this is one of the things that when I talk to the other YouTube streaming YouTubers like Doc Squiffy and Free Tech and Lee TV and Stu's Tech Time and CSS Coder and Fire TV Sticks and Whatbox TV and basically the whole the whole streaming community, we always say that certain keywords can trigger it, which is why we try not to say the K word, which rhymes with Jody, which we try not to show certain even applications on our homepage in case they get scanned. So it is very, very difficult, and it's not crystal clear. Certain videos with the same keywords can get flagged, whereas others don't seem to be. So it's not consistent every time, and that's also what makes it very confusing. So that's a great question. So I know everybody is waiting for the next Fire TV Cube, because we've had a refresh of the Fire TV Stick, which was the Fire TV Stick Max, but it'd be great to see another update to the Fire TV Cube. In fact, while I'm just checking this out, guys, why don't you leave a comment and tell me what your current primary streaming device is? So your main go-to device. I know lots of you have multiple devices, but what's your main go-to device for streaming? Is there okay, so this is also a very popular or common question at the moment. So unfortunately, there's no easy way, or in fact there's no way to remap the home button completely like we did in the past to launch a custom launcher. What you can do is, if you have one of these media buttons, which you probably can't see now, but if you have a remote control with these media buttons like Netflix or Disney or Amazon Music, you can remap one of those buttons to invoke the custom launcher. So I was actually going to do a video on that, but I'm still trying to find a better method of trying to remap the home button. So if you do have one of those remotes with those extra media keys, it is possible to remap one of those buttons. There's no direct method of mapping the home button at the moment. Hey man, nice to see one of my channel members on here. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you just search on YouTube for Fire TV Sticks or Fire Stick tips and tricks, you'll see the most sort of popular or common YouTube streamers. Yep, I mean the Cube. If you do a side-by-side comparison of the Cube versus the Fire Stick, the Cube is just light years faster. It's infinitely snappier. It's got much more onboard storage. It's got a hexacore processor, so it really is a very, very fast device. And when it goes on sale, I think it drops down to £60 or about $60. At that price, it's an absolute steal. I definitely appreciate your support. Yeah, so lots of people with Fire Sticks, Pete with his 4K Fire Stick, John with his Cube, you got Kurt with his Nvidia Shield Pro. I mean, people normally say, like, once you get the Shield, then you're never going to go back to any other device, and I would say that's a fair statement. The only thing is, if you don't want to spend too much money and all you're doing is basic streaming, maybe a couple of third-party applications, then in that example, I would say an Nvidia Shield is, slightly overkill. Yes, if money is not object, you can buy it and great, but just for pure streaming, I think it's a bit, over the top. Now, if money is not object and you also love gaming, maybe you love, cloud-based game streaming or emulation, then 100% Nvidia Shield is the ticket. Hey, Streaming Wizard, nice to see you on here. Yeah, so it is a obviously very, very popular device, still getting updates. I know there was major issues with the updates, the last few updates that they released where they broke so many things. I think Plex was broken, the mouse toggle was broken, lots of things just didn't work properly. But to be fair, they listened to the feedback, they released hot fixes very quickly. And I think they've addressed most of those issues now. And I think that really is a testament to how good a company is how regular are they doing updates, how much are they listening to consumer feedback or customer feedback and actually taking in those recommendations. Now, Amazon don't really take much feedback because they just seem to do what they want. But to be fair, in terms of releasing updates, they're still pushing updates to the second generation Fire TV Stick, which is a very old device. But the fact that it's still getting updates today, I think it is a testament that they don't abandon it. They don't abandon these devices. Whereas, if you buy these typical, Chinese Android boxes, yes, they have, great specs, lots of RAM, lots of storage, but in terms of getting support or getting updates, it does become quite difficult. So I think that's a joke, so I'm just going to ignore that. If that's not a joke, then that's completely impossible right now to review that kind of content. I guess the main device is a 4K Fire Stick for Wayne, a also has a Shield TV, another Fire Stick Lite. Greetings, Steve. Nice to see you in the stream. Yeah, I mean, I think I actually did that. I think I should probably do another refresh of that, a Cube versus a Shield, and you'd be surprised at how well the Amazon Cube keeps up with the Shield. And in most tasks like opening applications, YouTube streaming, most tasks it keeps up with the Shield easily. And again, if you can get it at that $60 price, I think it's an absolute steal. Of course, with the Shield, excels is gaming. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys remember StreamTecher now, really nice guy. I actually did reach out to him, I think last week, just to ask, where he's been, because, as you've seen, he hasn't posted videos for a while. And he's well, he's fine. I know his father is not well, so I think he's just spending time with him, which I think it's a great thing you can do if you have the opportunity. So hopefully things work out okay, and then we'll see him posting videos again. But yeah, definitely a great guy to watch, StreamTecher now. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Plex is, because there's so many different ways you can use it. Some people use it just as a streaming front end. Other people use it for the library features or to consume other content. Anytime there's an issue with it, lots of different things, can potentially go wrong. But I do know that Nvidia are releasing updates all the time. So I'm hoping with the latest update, they can fix, whatever's left that needs fixing. Yep, we got 4K Fire Stick Max user. Yes, I saw some videos, I think, on the Triple M channel, that lots of people do use mobile broadband as their main broadband, so interesting to see that. Terry White, I really appreciate you, and I will just say that again because I think more people have joined now, that I definitely recognize the people in my comments, the people that regularly join my live stream. I can't say much else, but I really do appreciate your support, and without your support, without your comments, your likes, your shares, your views, my channel would be nothing. So your support is really appreciated. Is there an app? That's a great question. So I don't actually know the answer to that, but if anybody else does, please do jump in. So I think some of you guys must have seen my video. So yeah, so the latest Plex app update for the browsers for Android TVs, they've added in a new Discover feature whereby you can now aggregate all of your different streaming services. So if you subscribe to Netflix or Disney Plus or to Hulu, wherever services you're subscribed to, you can now see that content directly inside the Plex Discover feature. And then through that feature, you can find something you want to watch, and that will then automatically launch that content. So really great feature, a really great feature. It has been released for Android TV, and I believe in the next week or so, you'll get the update. And you have the update on your Fire Stick because the version number will begin 9 dot something. So that's how you check. Okay, so question from Paul C. So I probably need some more information on why it's doing that. A common reason why these devices, when they start looping, is when they're not receiving enough power. So if you are maybe just using a USB port on your TV, try plugging it into the main socket and see if that allows it to boot up. 100% Daniel. Yeah, so this is also a great question and something that's very topical at the moment. So I'm sure you guys must have seen videos from other streamers whereby they're saying that Netflix have lost, I think, 200k subscribers in the last few months. There was a price hike, so they've upped the prices. People are not happy. People are leaving. People are looking for alternatives now, and that which obviously greatly affected their stock price. Now, to combat that, I think the CEO announced that they are exploring an ad-supported Netflix subscription. So it's not going to be, I want to watch Netflix with ads. It's going to be free for me. It's not going to be free. It's going to be discounted. So for people that don't want to pay the higher prices, this could be an option where you'd have to go through a couple of adverts to watch Netflix. But if they can offer that at a cheaper price, I think many people will take them up on that offer. Hey Sharon, many thanks for joining, and many thanks to all of the moderators in the chat. Really do appreciate your help and support. Hey Dazzle, nice to see you on here. Hope this time is a bit more convenient. Yeah, so this one, this is regarding my playlist videos. So I have been working on the latest update, but it's just trying to find enough working channels, enough working content. It's not easy, especially when there's a couple of thousand, but I am working on it, and I will release an update as soon as that comes out. It's most likely not going to have an EPG, especially not for all the channels, but wherever I find, I will post and share with you guys. So for this one, I'm sure you've enabled the option, but sometimes if you turn the wallpaper off and put it back on, that normally refreshes things. And if that doesn't work, you can also try doing a restart by pressing the play and select buttons for 8 seconds. Give that a restart and see if that fixes the problem. Is it Streamer Tech now? It's been a while, but I'm sure we know the person we're talking about. Hey Doc, nice to see you on here. Thanks for joining. Do you think if you connect a Fire Stick remote control that has the volume control? So what you have to understand about these remote controls that have the volume, so when you're actually adjusting the volume, you're not sending that to the Fire Stick per se, you're sending that to the TV. So those are the infrared controls that you can use on any TV. So if your TV, which I'm sure it does have an infrared sensor, you can program your remote control, if it has a volume control, to adjust the volume. So the answer to that is yes. I don't know how clear that answer was, but yeah, the short answer is yes. Welcome, Larry. Many thanks, Sharon. So maybe you weren't joking. So yes, unfortunately, that kind of content is completely unsuitable for YouTube. And if I do that, I'm pretty much asking to be shut down. So unfortunately, I cannot cover that content on my channel. So I haven't used this myself. I believe this is the one where it allows you to have ad-free YouTube. I think since YouTube Vanced has been shut down, lots of people are looking for alternatives, but I haven't used that myself. I think there was another one called Smart YouTube, or was that the same thing? But yeah, I mean, if it works for you, then great. Okay, so I can't answer that, but maybe somebody in the comments can. Yeah, so as long as your Xbox or your TV can output enough power to power the Fire Stick, then that should be fine. Yeah, so that'll be an interesting video to make then. So, but I can imagine with Netflix's buying power, they would make sure those ads are pretty well integrated. So, but I mean, saying that, there's always methods and workarounds on how you can potentially block ads. I know with some of the bigger companies, they actually inject them during the stream. So if you try and block it, it actually blocks the stream. But let's see if that comes out. Then maybe that could be a potential video. Although I'm not sure how long that will last on YouTube, because again, one of the policies is circumventing. So if you're circumventing something from an application, that's also something that's could potentially cause your video to be struck down. Yeah, I mean, there are methods, on how you can still get cheaper Netflix by signing up with a VPN in a different country. So I think I did do a video on that a few years ago, but if you search YouTube, it is still a fairly common method which still works. I believe in Turkey you can sign up, instead of paying I think $4.99 for the normal package, it's down to I think $2.99 because of the the local prices. So if people are interested, that is still possible. But yeah, at the end of the day, the price hike was not good, especially in the current climate where things are not that great. People are struggling more financially, so to have an increase on that from Netflix was not the best. Anytime, man. I appreciate your support. I mean, this is also a very common question, and one thing you have to understand is typically, and in most cases, widgets are designed for touchscreen phones and tablets, which is why finding something that works on a Android TV device or a Fire Stick, it's not that easy. Historically, the ones I've used, which are normally just weather-based ones, they're just normally just done with trial and error. So I'd open up any app store like Aurora Store or Apple TV and just search for weather widget, and then just try a couple of them and just see whichever one works for you. I can't give you a definitive list of these are the ones that definitely work. It's going to be one of those trial and error things. So until recently, I could use FX Explorer to access my. So depending on, I mean, I've not used that thing myself, but I'm guessing you're doing that on an Android TV device, because normally on those devices, if you're using a File Explorer application and you need to access your Google Drive or any of these other drives that require login, because they typically need Google services, you can't do that on a Fire Stick. So I'm guessing you're doing that on a Android TV device, but do leave a comment and confirm, and I'll see if I can come back to you. Okay, so maybe it's something in the application, and maybe there's a bad update. So 24/7 stuff, I mean, certain content like that I can't really speak about my stream, but I'm sure, I mean, probably the easiest one is just the APK Time website. I mean, if you go there, you'll find the most popular applications, most popular K builds. Really, it's just the quickest and simplest way of finding what's currently popular, what's currently working, especially if you're using things like RD, the Adb application. You'll definitely find applications in there that support that, and using Adb, I don't know what I can say, but you'll find some good stuff in there. In fact, do leave a comment in the chat, guys, if you are an RD user, or if you're one of those guys where it has to be free, I'm not paying for anything. It'll be interesting to see. And I think the last time I mentioned this, a couple of people who weren't using it, I'll say it again, do send me an email. I do have some RD vouchers. I will happily give out 30 days free, because the way I see it is, it's just night and day difference streaming with RD versus free apps. So when you try it, it's 100% worth the $2 or $3 per month, because it completely changes your streaming experience. So you get much higher quality streams, much higher quality bitrate. You get better audio. You get subtitles. You get the complete works, and of course so many more links. So if you're interested in that and you're not using RD, drop me an email and I'll happily give you a free 30-day voucher. Yeah, that's the application. So if it's working fine for you, then happy days. So I wasn't there last night. So did you guys catch the fight? I mean, what an uppercut, and what a way to go out. Okay, just a couple more questions. So I am a real tech doctor. Thanks, Doc. So people using these applications, yep, that's fine. Now, another thing, which maybe people don't necessarily want to do all the time, but I do actually recommend every couple of months, definitely 6 months or so, giving your Fire Stick a refresh by just doing a factory reset really helps speed things up. I mean, over time, especially if you're testing applications, I mean, if you're watching my videos, I'm sure you're trying out different applications. You may try them, you may forget about them, and over time you just end up having lots of junk applications. And even if you uninstall the applications, in some cases they leave residual files, temporary files, junk files all over the system, and that can over time grind it down to a halt, or grind it down. So I do recommend doing a factory reset, and your device will perform much better. It's more or less like when you first opened it. Yeah, I mean, it's just night and day difference. And you can say, oh, it's not free, but really at $2 or $3 per month to get access to all of that enhanced content. I mean, I've seen stuff on there. I think the biggest thing I saw was I think 120 gig movie. I mean, that's pretty fat, but you can just imagine the quality, the bitrate of that versus the free stuff, which is normally low bitrate. It's low file sizes, poor audio quality, probably audio sync issues. And the real issue is not only how bad it is, but the fact that you got tens and thousands of people all trying to suck that same file, to pull that same file from that poorly geared server. You end up just seeing buffering, whereas on RD I've never seen buffering. So for this one, as long as your location is USA, or you're using a VPN with a USA IP address, you'll see a section called free movies, and it's actually surprising how good the content is. So yes, it's not the latest stuff, but you will see some fairly recent movies on there, ad supported, but I'm sure you can wait 30 seconds to enjoy. And of course, because it's on YouTube, you won't get any buffering. It'll be good quality. So long as you're willing to accept an ad or two, it's definitely worthwhile checking out, as long as you have a USA IP address. And I'm not going to plug my VPN, but obviously if you guys do want to use a VPN, you can use my IPVanish link, and they are doing a special offer for $3.99 for the year, unlimited devices, unlimited bandwidth, and it does also help support my channel. Alright, so yeah, let's not share IP providers in the list. Okay, let me just ignore that comment there. Oh, that's a good tip there. So if you want to see, I haven't actually seen that myself. So if you want to see or do a speed test from within your Wi-Fi section, apparently that's now built in. And guys, definitely do share your tips and tricks. And again, if you see a question that you know the answer for, you don't need to wait for me. You can jump in and hopefully we can all benefit. All right, so yeah, and clearing the cache also helps. So how can I download the apps to USB? Okay, so this is going to be a slightly longer answer, but I'll try and make it as straightforward as possible. So the easiest way to do this, you can either use Me Explorer or you can use File Commander. Essentially what you want to do is install the application that you want to share onto your Chromebook or onto your other device. Install it onto your Fire Stick first. Let's say, for example, it's let's say it's Zoom OT, or let's say it's Netflix. So install Netflix onto your device first. Once it's installed, open up your favorite file manager. Let's say, for example, it's Me Explorer. On the left, you'll see there's a section called Apps. When you click on that, this will show you all of the installed applications on your device, on your Fire Stick. You then just highlight the app you want to copy, press and hold select the option to copy the application, and then you move to a folder, like maybe the downloader folder or any folder that's you can save to, and paste the application in here. And what you've done now is you've basically extracted that APK file for the application and you've placed it in that downloader folder. You can then just copy, you can either plug in a USB drive and copy it from the downloader folder onto that USB drive, or if you want to take it to the next level, if you have a PC, you can connect to Me Explorer if the PC is on the same network. You can access the storage of your Fire Stick, find the downloader folder, and you can copy that file out. Once you have that file, you can then install it on any other system and it'll be the same application. I did actually have a video for this, and I'll see if I can find it and share it before the stream ends, but essentially that's how you do it. Okay, so I think I missed a couple of questions actually. So the trouble is, because since the 4K Fire Stick went, since the introduction of Fire OS 6, which is Android 7 really enhanced the security, shall we say, or they made things more stricter. And what that means is, whereas on the older devices running Android 5, like the older second generation Fire TV Stick, Android 5 wasn't as strict. And what that meant is you could actually find an application which would then clear the cache of all your applications with one click. I remember doing some videos on that in the past. But the trouble is, with Android 7.1, which is what we see on Fire OS 6 and higher devices, or on Fire OS 7 is actually Android 9, because of those enhanced security permissions, they will not allow any application to go ahead and clear the cache on every other application. So unfortunately on those ones, you will have to manually clear the cache. Saying that, you can still use an application like DefSquid to clear your temporary files, your downloaded application files, your junk files. You can definitely do that, but what you can't do is use a single application to automatically clear all of your application cache files. I hope that was clear. Okay, so on the same network, it's very easy. You can use Visor, which is something that I've tested before. You can use another thing you can use for controlling is, I can't remember what the application was. So TeamViewer is good, but TeamViewer is view only. But Visor definitely works. I think it's VYSR1. I've done a video on that in the past, and you can definitely take full control of your really any Android device. And the other one, which I was going to mention, which I've just remembered now, is Adb Link. So you can download Adb Link for free. I do actually have a video on that coming, but that's a free application, has many uses, like installing applications, like browsing your internal storage, like backing up your K builds. All of that can be done with the application, and it also now supports remote control. So if I want to control my Fire Stick downstairs or my Nvidia Shield, upstairs, I can do all of that with Adb Link. So do check that out. That's all good, man. Everyone is busy. Everyone's trying to get started. And I appreciate it is Sunday, so I do appreciate you guys joining. Hey Technic, nice to see you on here, man. Another YouTuber from the old days. Alright, so next question. So I've been meaning to go back to that because I know lots of people did ask me a question, but I've actually bought something else, or I was given something else to review. It's basically a 2 terabyte pre-installed emulation hard drive, and it is actually designed for Windows, whereby I can plug that into my laptop or into my PC, and I now have a complete retro gaming station with latest, well not latest, but I mean things like Nintendo Switch, with Wii U, with 3DS, with GameCubes. All of that's pre-configured. So what I'm going to do is actually get that working on my Shield. So I think it cost about, I think, $70 or $80. I mean, really, you're really just paying for the hard drive, but it comes bundled with that 2 terabyte image. So do look out for a video for that. But if that works, that would be a great way for you to transform your, Nvidia Shield, or really any device, into a emulation gaming monster. Yes, I think this is the order grid, which I haven't used myself, but essentially they are offering similar services. But I'm guessing if one is more popular, then typically the more popular one gets busy, and then you may have some issues. Going through the list, I mean, there's lots of factors when looking at speed tests. Lots of different things, like if you're sharing your internet in your house, if there's other people doing stuff at the same time. Similarly, the server that you're connecting to run that speed test all could have potential issues, which means you may get skewed results, which is why it's good to do it a couple of times. I haven't actually used the speed test in DevSquid recently, but the another one you can use is you can just go to the fast.com website, which is actually owned by Netflix. So you'd hope they would have enough bandwidth and infrastructure to handle people doing speed tests. So that's another website you can go to, which again is just fast.com. Okay, we've got some opinions in here, so fair enough. If you've used both and you think one's better, then that's all good. Alright, this is getting a bit, I don't say political, but I mean, the thing is, which Amazon clearly don't realize, is the reason why their Fire Sticks are so popular is because people sideload, is because people customize, is because people tweak them and make changes to them. That's why they're popular, and I'm sure, and as we can see, they're slowly undoing all of the things that we've been able to do in the past. So changing home screens, we can't do anymore, not properly. We can't block updates anymore. Really, it's just all of the control that we try to have, they're slowly taking away. And honestly, I don't think it's too far-fetched that they may start blocking. I mean, it may be a case they'll block the popular applications, the side-loaded applications first, but I don't think it's too far-fetched that it'll be, we only support the Amazon App Store, get your applications from the Amazon App Store. Anything else can't be installed. Which I do believe they'll be shooting themselves in the foot, but the way things are going, it's definitely possible. I mean, which is a shame, because it is a really popular device. I mean, at that price point, it performs well. It gets regular updates. It is fully certified. You get the Netflix in 4K. You get Prime Video. You get all of the certifications that you need. And when it's on sale for $20 or $30, it's a really good price. It's just a shame that they're slowly locking things up or locking things down for us. So I actually got the prompt on my Shield to install it, but I haven't installed it yet. I will let you guys know how that goes. Hey Dennis, nice to see you in here, man. Dennis is in the house. Scott is now in the house. How are you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Scott is one of my channel members and also my channel mods. You are never too late. I say better late than never. Another channel member here. I have a 50-inch JVC Android TV, no apps, disconnect from the internet like that. I have. So when you say HDMI forwarders, do you mean an app that will change your HDMI input? I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. I think the way the Shields are selling at the moment, I can't see them releasing anything new right now, because typically what happens is a device comes out, it gets popular, people buy it, then slowly towards the end of its life cycle, it becomes heavily discounted, so more people buy it, and just when they bought it, they then release a new model. But right now, it's an extremely popular device. Yes, it is very, it's a premium device, but they're still selling like hotcakes. And, if you're interested in emulation or game streaming, it doesn't really have any real competitors. So right now, I can't see them offering anything else because it's just making them too much money. Okay, so I mean, the video I did, I believe it was like, I think 14 minutes long, and I don't think many people watched all of it anyway. So, I mean, that particular thing, the ability to control somebody else's Fire Stick, outside your house, it is a niche or a niche, interest, which not many of my people want to know. But if you watch that video again, I think I did cover most of the points. But you can send me an email if there's something particular that you found missing. Okay, so here's some great feedback. So we have confirmation here that no issues so far. I think one of the big issues that people really struggled with was the fact that there was the mouse toggle. The mouse toggle completely broke, which is why I had to use that workaround video. But I don't know if you can confirm if the mouse toggle, the original mouse toggle, is now working. I think it was always working, but the issue was that you couldn't click. So you could move around on the screen, but you couldn't actually click on anything. But I'd be interested if anybody can confirm if the latest update, the 9.0.2, actually addresses that. Robert, nice to see you on here. Really appreciate your support. And it's not too late, don't worry. I know it's Sunday, people are normally relaxing or winding down, and probably the last thing you want to see is some random guy's YouTube live stream, but I do appreciate the guys that have joined, and I'm trying my best to answer as many questions as I can. And there we go, so mouse toggle is fixed. So if that was one of your concerns with the latest Nvidia Shield update, Scott has just confirmed that if you do install it, that will fix that particular issue. Okay, so any more questions? Okay, here's another question. So this one is actually a good question because I've seen this before. The issue here is the live tab is a regional option, shall we say. So it's not available globally. So depending on your location will determine if you see that live tab or not. And it's not only just the live tab. As you guys saw a couple of months back, they allowed you to use your voice search across all applications. So even your third-party applications, when you clicked on search, you could actually use your voice to search for your movie or TV show. Again, that option was introduced slowly, and it was not a global update. It was slowly phased through the countries. So I think similarly with the live TV thing, right now it's not available globally. It's definitely available in USA and UK, but it is slowly being rolled out to the other countries. Yeah, okay, so hey Leo, thanks for joining, man. Yeah, I mean, this is probably another very common question I get asked when I post my videos. Can I install this onto my smart TV? And in most cases, the answer is no, because lots of these smart TVs run proprietary operating system. So it's not Android based, it's something else. Like you may get the Samsung have their own one. I think Philips have their own one. So depending on the brand, some of them use a proprietary operating system which is locked out and you can't modify it. Some Android TVs, like I think the Sony ones, for example, or certain brands, if they are Android based and you can see the ability to enable developer options, you can then enable the option to install from unknown sources. When you do that, that will then unlock the TV in a way that you can then sideload your applications. So really it does depend on your TV. Double check to see, is it running an actual Android TV version? If it is, then check to see, can I enable the developer options to enable the installation from unknown sources. Once you do that, that will then allow you to sideload applications onto your TV. Okie dokie, next question. Yeah, so this is not going to be an easy thing to answer, but essentially with Visor, as you've demonstrated that it does work perfectly fine when you're doing it from home, which means that you've installed it okay, the connection from your PC to your device is okay. What needs to happen now is when you actually establish that initial connection from your PC to the Fire Stick, you'll see an option to, I think it's called share screen or share link. That will then create a special Visor link. I think it's like, http visor.io. And it'll have some random letters after that. That's a special link which is which is accessible from the internet. You can share that link out. So maybe you can send it to your phone, or use Telegram or WhatsApp. And that link, if you click on it, will then allow you to see your Fire Stick screen outside your network. That's the only way to do it. So that's the slight caveat of using Visor, that it can't just be, it doesn't work like, I want to access somebody's Fire Stick, I'm going to press a button and connect in. It doesn't work like that. They have to create that special share link, which is a one-time use link. So it's not like you can create it once and use it all the time. They have to create that link on demand, create that link, share it with you. You can then click on that link and then connect in. So again, it's not super straightforward, but it definitely works. And I did demonstrate that when I did it from my car. So, sitting in my car using a Wi-Fi hotspot, I had that share link, I clicked on that link, and I was able to control my Fire Stick. Hey Joseph, nice to see you, man. Watching from West Virginia. Actually, this is also a good point. So, because the live tab is not really live per se, it's not like you're getting free live content. You have to provide the applications that give you that live content. So, for example, Pluto's one, I think Zumo is another one. I think Red Bull is another one. So maybe if you don't have any applications installed that give you those free channels, is why you may not see that live tab. So that's a good point from Wayne, that double check to make sure. Definitely install. I mean, the easiest one to do is just install either Pluto TV, because that definitely has it, or the Red Bull TV, and they should definitely integrate with the live tab. I've been having issues with that on that. I changed over to okay. I don't need to use a. Yeah, I mean, I think I did cover this in a short video I made. In fact, one of the things I'm going to do, which I did see Fire TV Sticks Tanya do, is any question that I feel may be of benefit for the people that don't watch the live stream, I'll clip it out from this live stream and post a smaller video, much more bite size or manageable. And this question I did actually ask before, and the answer to that is, if you are using RD, then I personally don't see any benefit of using a VPN, because the only thing you're doing is you're pulling content from RD. If there is some torrent downloading, if there's anything else that needs to happen, all of that's happening from the RD side, not your side. If anybody was to check your logs, all they can see is you made a connection to the RD servers. What happens after that, nobody can see it. So the short answer is no, you don't need to use a VPN. The only slight caveat is if you look at the privacy policy for Real Debrid, they do say in there that they do log IP addresses and the data accessed as part of their country's data logging laws. So I think people do feel slightly edgy with that, and because of that they still enable a VPN. But so far I've never used a VPN with RD. But good question. So I think lots of you have got this box, and I did actually try to order this box from, I can't remember what website it was now, but it worked out I think about $120 with the postage and the, so I didn't actually do it, but it does seem to be a very popular box. Do let me know in the comments if any of you guys have tried this on box or on stick, because at the price point you're getting official Android TV, full Netflix certification, YouTube certification, you get expandable storage, and I think it's like $20 or $30. So I think at that price point it does seem to be a really good deal. What I can't confirm is things like the picture quality. So if any of you guys have seen the unbox, then do leave a comment and share your experience. Okie dokie. Okay, so on has 4K quality, but I'm wondering if there's a difference. I know there was an issue with HDR always being on, which was one of the things that plagued the TiVo Stream 4K devices, and it just made everything look wrong. And I don't know if that's been fixed, but I wonder if that's an issue on these unboxes. Yes, that was Mi Explorer, which is available on my website. So a great application, allows you to not only browse your internal storage, but you can also enable the server feature, which then means you can access the storage from your laptop or from your PC, and it really makes dropping APKs or pulling APKs really easy. Oh, this is interesting. So it does support 4K, but doesn't have the codec to enable 4K. That's doesn't sound too good. But again, I mean, at $20 or $30, it's still, I mean, even if it gives you 1080p, and for most people, 1080p is more than enough. And they say unless you're sitting, I think it's 1.5 meters from the TV, it's very hard to tell the difference between 1080p and 4K. In fact, for all of you TV purists in the chat, do leave a comment and let me know if you guys stream in 4K, if you watch TV in 4K, or what resolutions you guys normally watch content in. I don't know if Mark's on here, but yeah, he's one of my channel members who does have that box. I'm sure he'll be able to answer that question. Any other questions? Yeah, it's worthwhile just double checking to see exactly what operating system that the TV is running. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure you guys know Rojas had some big challenges with his main channel. I think he had 140k subscribers, and he lost it again because of these fake strikes. I mean, the last strike he got was for downloader. I mean, it's just hair pulling, frustrating that you've struck my channel for an application called Downloader, which is available on the Amazon App Store, which is available for all Android TV devices. And if you watch any streaming video, 9 times out of 10 they're all using Downloader. So why have they given him a strike on that? And the poor guy, he appealed it, he escalated it, but it's that issue where it's just so hard to get through to a human, and once they kind of like ghost you, or they just think you're just not worth it, they just stop responding, and it becomes just so frustrating. I know he has started a new channel, so if any of you guys are not following him, do follow him. And he did the review on that box, so definitely he's a trustworthy guy. Definitely watch it if you're interested in buying the unbox. Okay, so here's some feedback about the unboxing. The picture is very good, but it'd be good to mention if you guys are watching in 4K or 1080p. My volume sometimes goes up and back. I mean, I've seen this issue where, depending on what you're streaming, some streams, I think because they are recorded in 7.1 or higher, and the application can't decode the audio properly, and what happens then is the volume becomes really low because you're missing either the center speaker or one of the speakers. So one fix you can do in that, depending on the application, is actually I think the Fire TV Stick has that option as well, where you can downstream or downmix the settings so it's just 2.0 stereo. So that should help normalize the volume. So it is worthwhile checking where you're streaming from to see if that's potentially causing that issue. Okay, so here's another vouch for Unbox. Okay, so look, that's a pretty big statement there from Jerry, saying that the picture is way better on the Unbox. It's just a shame they're not internationally available, so it's really just something for the USA audience. But I mean, that if it was available for £25 or £30 in the UK, then I think they'll go like hotcakes. But yeah, so we have another confirmation here that the picture quality is actually very good. Yeah, so if you have the Nvidia Shield, the AI upscaling is a great feature and it works really well. So if you can save on data consumption by streaming at 1080p, but then use your device's AI upscaling feature, then that's a great tip. All right, so you got Dazzle, Mr. 4K streamer. If it's not 4K, then he doesn't want to know. But I mean, to be fair, depending on the type of film, if it's like a sci-fi film or something that's got really good visuals, then you would appreciate 4K. But again, you have to make sure you have the right bitrate and the right level of distance from the TV to appreciate that. I suppose really I should ask, how big are your TVs? So in fact, yeah, out of interest, what kind of TVs? I'm guessing probably 50 to 60 inches, but do leave a comment and let me know what's the size of your main TV where you watch your streaming content. So I don't typically recommend free VPNs. I mean, certainly not the free ones you get from unknown companies, because I'm sure you've seen in the news, every couple of months they find that some of these free VPNs were data mining, or they were, they had malware installed, or there were login keystrokes, and they're just really untrustworthy. Now, if you can find a reputable company like Proton VPN, I think Tanya did one on Windscribe. So those are known companies, so they are trustworthy. You may not get infinite bandwidth, or infinite data allowance, but at least those are trustworthy companies. I know a couple of people have done reviews on Award VPN, which I haven't tested myself, but that looks like another potential good VPN you could try if you're looking for a completely free option. Yeah, I mean, maybe not everybody's fully aware, but the bitrate is really important. So, the bits, like, how many bits are we talking? So you could have a 1920 by 1080p resolution, but if the bitrate is low, it will look, fuzzy. It won't look sharp. So bitrate is also very important. So I'm actually doing an update video on that, just the best settings to get. In fact, I actually did a short video. I don't know if you guys are watching YouTube Shorts, but on my extra channel, I did a quick test using IPVanish across, I think, 4 devices, which was my PC, my 4K Fire Stick Max, my Android emulator, and Nvidia Shield, just to show you that using the same VPN in the same location with the same server all gets you completely different speeds based on the device you're using. And essentially, it is the more powerful that your device is, the better speeds you'll see on VPN, because you have to understand that in terms of encryption, in terms of encapsulating those data packets, sending them through the encrypted tunnel, it's your device that's doing that. So if your device is underpowered, you don't have much RAM, you have lots of things running in the background, all of that will cause burden, or that workload will cause extra strain on your device, which will then affect the speed. If you have a very powerful device like the Fire TV Cube or the Nvidia Shield or my PC, you get much faster speeds. So guys, I think we've been on here for more than an hour now. I'll just do the last couple of questions and I think we'll wrap it up. And I do try and do one of these at least once a month, because it's just the best way for me to interact with you. I love answering your questions in real time for the ones that I can answer. And just having this, feedback, real-time feedback, I really enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. So, and this is why I say that, because I can't do a guaranteed schedule, it's very ad hoc for me. So I do recommend that if you are subscribed to this channel with all notifications, you'll know exactly when I go live. Okay, so we've got a big 75-incher up here. We've got 50-inch. All right, I think these guys are just showing off now. You've got 80-inch, and you've got Rich with his 85-inch TV. I mean, you must have a big room. All right, so Mr. 4K only, 55-inch and 250 inches. All right. So I think on that note, guys, I will take this opportunity to say I really appreciate you guys joining the live stream on a Sunday. I'm sure there's lots of better things you could be doing, but you decided to spend it with me. I hope I've answered some of your questions. I will go through the comments. If there's anything else that I can answer, I will answer. I just want to say one more time, I really do appreciate your support. It's really nice to see the familiar names in the chat. I will be doing one of these live streams very soon. Make sure you are subscribed with all notifications to both of my channels, and I will hopefully catch up with you real soon. Thanks. Really appreciate your support, guys. I'll see you next time. Cheers.